3 things that I wish I knew before breeding crested geckos in no particular order. 1, patience. Patience is something that is an overarching, all-encompassing theme throughout this video, but it is one of the most important things when talking about breeding crested geckos, and probably could apply to anything that you want to get into doing seriously in life. Patience is something that I thought I had, but then also learned a whole new appreciation for, especially in terms of crested geckos. You know, buying geckos in 2023, at the end of 2023, like I did, hoping to be able to breed them for the 2024 season, was something that I was immediately doing out of a lack of patience, because I wanted to get into it, and I wanted to get into it as soon as I possibly could. But I also knew that I would have to be somewhat patient, because the season doesn't typically start until the spring in the year. So that would mean I have to wait somewhat. So that also meant I had to hurry up and buy geckos. And what that meant was that I was just buying things, and I was buying geckos. I'm like, okay, if I buy this one now and it grows this much by this point in time, then maybe it'll be good for next season. Fast forward to the next season, and legitimately none of the pairings that I thought I would be able to do happened. And that leads me right into my second thing here, which I'll talk about in conjunction with patience, is not to settle. This might be the most important thing that I learned in all of my past year of crested gecko breeding and getting into this and buying geckos, is not to settle. Because when you settle, that means you're buying something that you settled on for a project that you're hoping to work on and then have hatchlings from, that you'll then sell and hope that people want. And if you settle on something that is not the quality or exactly what you want, that means a couple months down the line, the same level of excitement that you had from buying this gecko isn't going to be there anymore, because you bought it and that was where that excitement came from. And now the excitement for breeding and pairing and what the hatchlings might look like is inevitably going to be less than it would have been had you have not settled and you bought exactly what you wanted. A testament to this was that the first gecko that I bought coming into this, and you can see it in my channel, is a het axanthic male that was ready to breed. And basically what I did was I went on to Morph Market and I found the cheapest ready to breed male het axanthic gecko that I could. And I just bought it. And with that, I haven't paired it yet, and I settled. Had I have known not to settle, I would have waited, and I would have seen that not only was the price on these animals going down drastically, the availability was going to go up a lot, to where I wouldn't have had to settle on just a Harlequin that has Dalmatian spots all over it. And I would have been able to use the exact same amount of money and get something that I would be that much more excited about. And that is my message in this, in that you need to have patience to let yourself not settle when you're buying geckos, so that when the excitement of buying it wears off, you still have the excitement of, I have exactly what I wanted, and now I get to pair it, and the excitement for that to look forward to. I cannot tell you how many times I thought I knew exactly what I wanted, and then I settled for something, and then exactly what I wanted, or something equal to what I ended up buying, came along the next week for less. So not settling and buying something that you are truly excited and is exactly what you want is what would be the best way to be happy in all of this. Not saying I'm not happy, because I have a lot of amazing geckos, and you're seeing some in the background right now that I am very excited about. But I bought several geckos that I don't exactly know what I'm going to be doing with at this point. And that's something that I would caution you guys to just try not to do. Don't settle. The third thing, and what could be also argued as a very, very, very important aspect to breeding crested geckos, is how hard it is to sell the offspring. It is so difficult if you are not able to go to vend a show. You know, if you're like me and you only did 2 pairings in a year and you don't exactly have the ability to just go to a show and vend for the 9 babies that you have available, you have to find places to post and put them up for sale, and you have to post them on Morph Market or whatever you might do, which is not easy. Doing this is not easy, and this leads back to my patience and not to settle points, in that if you settle on a gecko that you might not be as excited for because it's much less expensive, or whatever the reason you settled might be, or it was what you could get right now because you needed to do it right now, it's going to lead to babies that aren't at the level that maybe you wanted from what you were trying to get, but then you settled and didn't. And that's going to make them that much harder to sell yet. When you look at the crested gecko market, the geckos that are selling very quickly are, 1, from people who are well known, obviously, but 2, geckos of these more desirable morphs, the crazy looking fraps and axanthic lily whites that are out there, and some of the insane lily whites that people are making. So the bottom line is, have patience so that you don't settle and can make offspring with your geckos that aren't as hard to sell. It's pretty simple whenever you boil it down to those 3 concepts, but those are 3 things that I really wish I fully understood before buying all of the geckos that I did. I'm still happy with where things are at, and you can watch my previous video on the screen right now to see all of the geckos that I have available right now, as well as a couple that I'm holding back because I'm very excited for. And hopefully we'll see you next time, where maybe we'll have some more big news with geckos that are hatching out. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you there for more reptiles.